I guess this might have to go up in 2 parts because I just got a phone call and it cut my video off, which is rude. But anyway, so like I was saying, we just grabbed some stuff at ShopRite, like that I had a packet of information to go home with, and they give you like sample menus and stuff, so I just kind of stuck to that, some broth and stuff like that. So got home like Tuesday afternoon, and again, I basically just kind of like slept, but I was trying to be conscious of how much liquid I was, making sure I was getting enough fluid in between. They said when you're awake, they wanted you to make sure you were intaking at least 4 ounces an hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you've had stomach surgery, it is. Especially when you absolutely cannot drink fast and you can't gulp. Like, you can, but I can't even explain. I did it once, and I cannot even explain to you how bad it hurts. You don't even want to do it. Like, you're literally scared to drink so fast because it hurts immediately. It's not even uncomfortable feeling, like it hurts. It physically hurts. Anyway, so basically slept like Tuesday, most of Tuesday, off and on. Wednesday, I think I was okay. I kind of started staying up like all day. Pat was home. He had the kids, so I didn't have to worry about anything. But let me tell you, like, the liquid diet is hard. I think one of the biggest things that I was surprised about after surgery was the fact that I was actually hungry. Like, I don't know. I just had this thing that I wasn't going to feel hungry because my stomach's so small, but like, I was actually hungry. So, I was drinking, I was doing water and broth and my protein shakes and stuff, but like, I was still hungry. So, I would eat Jell-O and like, that would help it, but like, I don't know, I was still hungry. Like, I'm a big texture person. I'm not a huge fan of, I don't really know anyone that's a huge fan of a liquid diet, but like, I don't know, I feel like I need like some kind of texture. So on my full liquid diet, I am allowed to have cottage cheese, so I was kind of like snacking on that. I would take like 2 spoonfuls of it, and just for something, like, it was some salt and like, just like texture. But anyway, so Tuesday, Wednesday, like, I felt physically, like, I felt okay. I was super tired, but like, I felt okay. Made it through the rest of the week, like, and each day, like, I felt better. I kind of stopped sleeping, off and on all day on like, I think like Wednesday or Thursday. I would take like a little nap or whatever, but like Monday and Tuesday, I was basically asleep all day. So, I think I got to like Friday of the week of surgery, and I was like dying. Like, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to survive on this liquid diet for another week because like, I'm still hungry. And then I was miserable, and I just didn't like feel right, and I was like, whatever. So, not even gonna lie, like, I ate a cracker, and it was like the best thing that I had ever had, because at that point I haven't had any type of food in almost a week. So I just took like the tiniest little bite of a cracker, and it satisfied whatever, and I was okay. Like, I made sure to chew it up, and it was, I didn't like swallow it, and I felt okay. Like, I gave it some time, and it literally, I tell you, like, it was like a tiny cracker, but I felt okay. And I know that's not the what the plan wants me to do, but I ate a cracker, whatever. I could eat a fucking cupcake. So I ate the cracker, and then over the weekend, my diet basically when they say full liquid, it was, you can have things like cottage cheese and yogurt and stuff like that, but they don't want you to have anything that has like chunks of anything in it. Sorry, this guy driving behind me is literally on my fucking ass, and we're sitting in traffic. So they don't want you to have anything that has like chunks of anything in it, because your stomach is healing. I have stitches in my stomach, so like, you don't want to overdo it and like, possibly bust any of your stitches. So also, like, the extra sugar and stuff like that, like, you want your body to heal first. So the first like Monday through Friday, it was just, broth, Jell-O, water, pudding, like whatever it says I could have. And then throughout the weekend, I started to, like, I had soup, but it had like, like little chunks of whatever in it, but I didn't strain it. Like, I would just, super chew them up and eat it. And it helped a little bit because I wasn't feeling as hungry. So I did that, and then the second week, I started to try like just very, very slim amounts of protein. I think the first thing I tried was, you know, those like tuna packets, they're like flavored or whatever, the StarKist ones. I tried one of those. I wasn't able to eat the whole thing. I wasn't even trying. I just took like a bite of it at first, like just to see. It tasted really good, and I was able to tolerate it. So what I'm coming to find out now that I'm like 3 weeks post-op is that I've been able to tolerate everything so far, and I haven't eaten a ton of stuff, but like the things that I am eating, which are all within the pre and post-op diet. I guess you can say like I kind of just started it a little bit sooner than I should have, or that they recommend. Not even that I should have, but like what they recommend that you follow. Basically, the program in a nutshell lays it out that you're on liquid for 2 weeks, then you move to pureed foods, which is basically like baby foods, which I just can't, like I'll just gag, like I can't even eat it. But they consider like eggs and stuff like pureed foods, but they want you to put it in like a blender and puree it, and I'll chop it up small enough to where it's okay. Like, so you do pureed foods for a week or 2 weeks, and then you move to soft foods, which would be like fish and stuff like that, where you don't necessarily have to completely puree it, but something that's soft enough, that like mashed potatoes or something that's soft. Then you do that for 2 weeks, I think 2 or 3 weeks, depending on how you're feeling. And then I think like 8 weeks post-op, I do have another appointment already scheduled for like mid-April. That would be my 8-week post-op appointment, and that's where my surgeon will go over like basically I'm cleared to eat a regular diet, which means like you can have raw fruits and vegetables and stuff like that. There are things they want you to stay away from until you get to that point, because your stomach is still healing. So introducing a lot of different foods at once could, you know, it could cause problems. So to avoid that, they lay out this menu for you, or like a plan. So I started with like the tuna packets, which I'm totally fine tolerating those now. I can mix it with, I do like the flavored ones, and it tells you can mix it with like a teaspoon or a tablespoon of light mayonnaise, which I'm fine with. And I actually have been putting like a little bit of relish in it just for some crunch, and it tastes good. I like relish. If you don't, you're not gonna like it, but I do. So I was eating those, and usually the packet, like I get like 2 meals out of it, I guess. And at first I was just eating it with a spoon, like by itself, just because I'm staying away from like bread and crackers and stuff like that now. I don't want to, well, crackers, I can have like whole wheat bread, or as long as it's toasted, or like crackers. So I just don't want to like overdo it with them, but they're there like if I want to have tuna salad or egg salad. Egg salad's another thing. So again, this is not, you know, the medical way to do anything, but like I skipped the pureed stage. I didn't completely skip it, because a lot of the stuff that I eat is, I guess it's soft, it's not even pureed, but yeah, so I'm skipping the pureed stage just because I just don't like the texture. But I'm still following the diet. I'm skipping the pureed stage. So, but I do chop everything up super, super small. I make sure I chew it really well. I don't like, you know, shovel anything down my throat. So right now I'm at the point where I'm eating like ricotta cheese and stuff like that. So like I said, it's things that are soft, that are easy to digest. I'm not eating any like crazy protein. I'm not eating like steak or anything like that. I won't do that for a while. But the tuna has been a really good staple. There's like a thing in the bariatric world called a ricotta bake. It is delicious. It's basically like, it's almost like lasagna without the noodles. It's kind of like the filling, but I had added some chopped spinach to the filling, just for like some different texture and taste. And that's been really good. So I'm able to, you know, make a batch of it and then like measure it out, and I always have that in the fridge to eat really quickly. I did have some cod, some baked cod. I made it and it was really good. I like it. And these are all seafood generally is super high protein with super low calories, so I'm not going overboard. At this stage in my recovery, I'm shooting for, I think, like 500 to 700 calories a day, which again sounds like nothing, but for me, my stomach is now the size of an egg, so that's a lot for me. But 60 to 80 grams of protein, which I've had no trouble hitting at all between my protein shakes and then like snacking on the tuna and stuff like that. The eggs, like I've had no problem being within, I'm usually over my protein goal for the day. Because my protein shake alone in the morning, I make it with powdered milk, the PB powder, like PB Fit or PB2, and we have PB Fit at home, and sometimes I get banana. But my shake itself is like 43 grams of protein, so there's like half my protein for the day. I've also not had any issue with my fluid intake as far as water. We are advised to take in a minimum of 64 ounces of liquid a day, which I do know, I've read a lot of things where like people have a lot of problems getting their fluid in, but I haven't had any issues at all. Like I've been really good about it. I've been fairly religious about, you know, just keeping a bottle of water or something next to me so that I always have something. One thing they do recommend that you stay away from is drinking out of a straw, because they don't want you to take in any extra air. But I have been drinking out of a straw. I have like a Starbucks cup that has a lid on it, and I'm not like keeping my mouth open when I'm drinking it, so it's just easier because like I can't leave a cup laying around with no lid on it, because if I'm at home with the baby, and if I'm at work, like I have a lot of paperwork and stuff on my desk, like I just don't want to spill it. So or like if someone knocks it over by accident or whatever. But I've been okay with it. Like I'm not, like I'm being careful about it. So I have, the last couple days I have been drinking out of a straw, whatever. But I've been really, really good with, I usually get at least just 64 ounces of water in a day, which again, for someone with a stomach my small is a lot, but your fluid intake also counts, like your protein shake counts for that. So I usually break up my protein shake and I have 16 ounces of just protein shake. So like with 64 ounces of water, I'm well over the 64 ounces, so I'm not worried about it at all. I also think that's part of the reason why my recovery's been so good, because one of the main issues that bariatric patients have after surgery is that they're not getting enough fluid in, and they wind up getting dehydrated, and then they have to go to the emergency room because they're sick, because they're dehydrated, because they're not getting enough fluid. So I do think that's helped me, my recovery, like just basically kind of like speed by, because I feel good, like I feel okay. So anyway, like I said, my first post-op appointment is this Thursday, and I do plan on talking to them about my vitamins, because I mentioned before that I got my vitamins at the hospital, which there are a bunch of different vitamins that I'll have to take for life now, because I won't absorb nutrients the same way now that my stomach's been altered. But it's just basic stuff like a multivitamin. I gotta make sure that I'm taking enough B1, B2, vitamin D. They do make these vitamins that are chewable, which also my vitamins have to be chewable for a little while. I'm not sure exactly how long, like 6 months or something. So that your body can absorb them. So there's a company that makes like a multivitamin, which is all of those things in one for bariatric patients, and it's chewable, and it's really big. It's probably the size of like if you had, I don't know, if I had to guess and say, like if you had like 6 or 8 quarters stacked on top of each other, like it's big, and it tastes like shit. It is absolutely terrible, but it has everything that you need in it in one vitamin. If not, I would have to take like 6 or 7 vitamins a day at different times during the day and stuff like that. So I was like, you know what, I'll try to suck it up and just take the multivitamin. Well, it is fucking horrible. It tastes terrible, which they warned us, but whatever. Well, I decided to try to put it in my protein shake because I blend it with ice. So I figured like if I just blend it into my protein shake, it wouldn't be bad, which it's not. It doesn't taste bad. I don't really taste it in my protein shake. But I started taking those and my calcium supplements, which are also chewable, on the 15th. And I think I felt okay. I wasn't really sure, but when I was on my way to work yesterday, I don't know if it was just me stressed from going back to work or whatever, but I felt like crap yesterday on my way to work, after I drank my protein shake, and I had taken my calcium. I didn't take my calcium yet. I just took my multivitamin. So I felt I felt like crap basically all day. I don't know what was going on. I didn't change anything. I didn't change the way that I was eating. I don't know if I just wasn't feeling good. But I'm not sure if I can't tolerate the vitamins or what. Like, I didn't throw up or anything, but I just felt terrible. So I didn't take them this morning because I didn't take it this morning because I wanted to see if I felt any better, and I did. So I think it might be the vitamins that my stomach's not agreeing with. There are other options. I was just trying to see if that was the easy way out first, like, so that I don't have to remember to take a bunch of pills. But whatever, we'll see. I think Flintstone vitamins are actually an acceptable substitute, but then I would just have to take like 1 or 2 other things. So we'll see. I don't know. Other than that, I'm not sure what the post-op appointment all entails. I'm sure he's going to check on my incisions, which are now, they look like they're almost completely healed. I have slight bruising, and eventually I'll post pictures. Like, I took a couple pictures of my stomach like after surgery. Eventually I'll post pictures, but I have like little, some bruising, and but all of the incisions are like closed. They're still pink, like you can tell, but I think they're healing really well. I kept them clean, and when I got a shower and all that good stuff. So I think I'm good there. I'm not sure what else we'll talk about. I think we'll talk about vitamins and stuff, but I can do an update after that as well. But other than that, my plan right now is to just kind of stick to the diet that I've been on right now, slowly introducing new good proteins and stuff. Like, I'm not going crazy at all because I don't want to feel like crap, so I'm kind of, I'm just going with what works right now. But otherwise, like, I feel really good now. I went back to work yesterday. I'm not, crazy tired. Oh, let me backtrack real quick. So some of the things that we learned in the nutrition class, just changes now that have to be made, is that after you've had surgery, they recommend that you stay away from alcohol for at a minimum of 6 months. Like, ultimately, they just don't want you to drink at all. But if you do drink or drink socially or whatever, like, they want you to stay away from it for 6 months, because your body is still healing, and like, it absorbs things differently now. Also, the big thing that I think a lot of people were shocked about is that you have to stay away from caffeine for 6 months. It's recommended. And the reason is because caffeine is a diuretic, and it basically dehydrates you. So if you have bariatric patients who are already not getting in enough fluid, and then they go and drink caffeine on top of it, they're going to get dehydrated and end up in the hospital. So, I mean, I'm sure eventually, like, I'll be able to drink coffee or whatever, but I was never a huge coffee drinker to begin with. Like, I liked to have it just because, or like if I was having a really rough day, like, I would drink, a couple cups of coffee, or get like espresso from Starbucks or something. But it's like, I'm not one of the type of people that wakes up and is like, oh my God, I need to have coffee. So that's not a huge adjustment for me, because I wasn't really like that addicted to it before. I'm okay without it. But it is crazy because I notice, like, I'm just generally not as tired anymore. I just, like, I feel better. I guess, I don't know. I say that as I'm getting ready to yawn. I haven't noticed crazy changes with my body yet. I mean, I am still healing, and there are like support groups and stuff on Facebook, and just like online, you can read about a lot of it on Instagram. I follow a lot of I look at a lot of accounts and stuff for people that have had sleeve surgery as well, and like, just to see what their like what their results have been, or you know how they healed from surgery, and you know how much weight did they lose and stuff like that. But obviously everyone's different. Not everyone's going to lose weight at the same rate, and you know everyone has different medical issues and you know things like that. But just like curiosity, because you know you think you have weight loss surgery and then you're going to start seeing changes immediately. Like, not really. I've kind of stalled at, you know, plus or minus a couple pounds since surgery, but you know a lot of it's water weight, and they do pump you with fluids the whole time you're in the hospital. So like when you come home, a lot of that I've heard it called surgery weight before, because you're like, yeah, I dropped like 10 pounds, but like most of it was water weight, if that makes sense. But total, I am down about 20 pounds now. I did notice like some of my clothes aren't falling off of me, but like they are definitely looser, which is pretty cool. My ring is like looser, so I'm guessing eventually I'll have to get it like resized, but I'll wait for that. I guess the biggest thing is like you go through a lot of changes before you notice things like physically. So I'm not expecting to see any crazy dramatic weight loss until, you know, like 5 to 8 weeks post-op. I'm just now at the beginning of week 3. So I mean, I do, you know, I get on the scale like every other day or something, like just to look, because I'm curious, but I'm trying to not let it like super bother me, because I know that my body's still healing, even though I feel okay. But like I am still sore. Like I say I feel okay, and I do, but like I'm still sore. Like my stomach's still sore, or my torso, not my stomach. You know, like I'm still healing. Like I don't know what the inside of my stomach is looking like, but I do have dissolvable stitches, so I don't know how long that takes to heal. So I mean, I know there's still a lot going on. My body's readjusting, so I'm not super obsessed with it, or you know, worried about it. But I am excited to kind of start seeing, you know, like 10, 20, 30 pounds like post-op come off. And I'm actually kind of staying away from those like support groups and stuff, because a lot of the people are just like complaining, or you know, oh well, how come I'm not losing any weight, or I stalled at this weight or whatever. So it's just not my thing. I was kind of just reading through it at first, but I guess I don't know, I can't really relate to everyone on there, so I'm just whatever. But I know this is going to be super long. If you have stuck through it so far, thank you for caring about my recovery. I really do. I feel pretty good. I'm just now kind of getting back into the swing of things, so I would like to try to keep it. Is fun for me to like update everyone, because I think it's cool that like people reach out and ask how I'm doing, and you know how I'm doing like post surgery and how I'm feeling and stuff. So I do, as more happens, like I tried to record this on my camera at home, but with the baby it's almost impossible. So I'm like, really the only time I'm alone to be able to do this is when I'm driving. It's when I'm driving home. So again, thank you for everyone who's reached out and asked how I'm doing, or has talked to Pat and asked how I'm doing. I appreciate it. All the messages and everything. Like it's been really cool to see like how many people actually care and make an effort to check in on you after surgery. I guess I'll update like 1 month post-op to just like go over my weight and my stats and stuff like that. And I'm not, you know, I'll be honest with everyone if I'm not losing anything or whatever. Just, I don't care at this point. Everyone basically knows I've had surgery at this point. So that's basically it. I will do another update when I have really anything to update. I'll get this uploaded at some point. I have to figure out how to merge them back into one video, or I'm just gonna have to post 2. But anyway, if there's anyone watching this that like is considering surgery or has questions or anything, like feel free to reach out. I don't have the answer for everything, but I had a sleeve gastrectomy done, so it's commonly known as VSG, or sleeve surgery. Basically they cut out, I think, like 2/3 of my stomach. I didn't have any type of gastric bypass done or anything, so I'm not familiar with those surgeries aside from just knowing what they are. But I can tell you my experience, or you know, what I went through, or you know, where I went through my clearances and stuff, if you're local in South Jersey or PA or Philly or whatever. But feel free to reach out. I'll get back to you. And otherwise, I will see you next time.